Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto kuza dziko lathu. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto omwe amagwa mdziko lathu.
Thank you for having me here, and I am Muuni, co-founder of Innovators Limited, and here I want to present our innovation for digital districts council, particularly under the education sector. We are asked to come up with a digital library for digital district council. So I'm here to give you an introduction to Athlete, and a groundbreaking library platform that is poised to revolutionize education and knowledge access, starting right here in Malawi. Imagine a world where access to high-quality education resources is not limited by geographical or socio-economic status. Athlete makes this vision a reality. Our platform, developed by us, is more than just a digital library. It is a beacon of accessibility, empowerment, and collaboration. In Malawi, where physical libraries are scarce and access to educational materials can be a challenge at times, Athlete steps in to bridge the gap. With Athlete, anyone with internet access can access vast collections of local content, either books, journals, articles, audio visuals, and many more, 24/7. What set Athlete apart is its user-friendly interface, personalized content curation, emphasis on community and collaboration. Users actually can curate their own content and collections, share resources with others, and engage in collaborative learning experience. Athlete empowers individuals to take charge of their education journeys like never before. In our commitment to accessibility and inclusivity, Athlete ensures that our resources are available in various digital formats, including audio, to cater for individuals with visual impairment or those who may have difficulty reading. By providing audio versions of our content, we are breaking down the barriers and ensuring that everyone, regardless of their abilities, has equal access to education resources. This feature aligns with our core value of accessibility and underscores our dedication to making knowledge accessible to all. Now, let's talk about commercial viability of Athlete. We offer both free and premium subscription plans, allowing our users to access basic content for free and subscribe for exclusive resources. We also collaborate with schools, colleges, universities through subscriptions and licensing agreements. Additionally, we generate revenue through targeted advertising, consulting services, and donations from philanthropic organizations. Our target market includes students, teachers, schools, colleges, universities, government agencies, NGOs, and anyone else seeking access to educational resources. Athlete is not just a tool for learning. It is a platform for empowerment and growth. Participating in the Muuni Fund Challenge will help us to increase visibility, credibility, and funding opportunities for our innovation. It also allow us to expand our network, create more jobs opportunities, and further enhance our platform to serve our users better. In terms of adding value to Malawian economy, Athlete will contribute to improving access to quality education, developing a skilled workforce, promoting digital literacy, and attracting investment and partnerships that can further boost the country's economy. Our sustainability model includes grants, donations, diversified revenue streams, community engagements, and digital literacy programs, low content, data privacy, government and institutional support, feedback and adaptation, and scalability. In conclusion, AFRIT is not just a digital library, as I said, it's a catalyst for change, empowerment, and growth. Join us in this journey while we're shaping the future of education in Malawi and beyond. Thank you so much. Now, let me come to this live website. So, as you can see, this is homepage for AFRIT version number 1. So we are building version number 2, which will add new features like AI, where you can ask our platform whatever you want to query the data in the database that will be able to upload whatever you want to upload. Like for example, if I go here and you will see we have the SONA that the HE just delivered last week. It's there already, and if you want to read it, just click it, but you must have an account with us before you read that and be able to access it right there. So I guess try to do that here so that you can see how it works. So schools really can be able to create their own accounts, as well as institutions like Muuni here can be able to create their own account and upload their data there. Let's say, for example, you have the post that you want to know about Muuni Fund. You put it there on AFRIT, have your own account there, and you'll be able to have access to your own account without us having anything to do with that, and access to your own people as well. So that's the future of education in Malawi. And again, in our vision 2, we are planning to include e-learning, because we know that during COVID-19 it was difficult for most people to learn because of the issue of COVID-19. And we know that that's not the end of pandemics or disasters in Malawi. So we are planning to have e-learning so that people can be able to teach and learn on our platform individually, not really belonging to any institution, but individually people can learn there. So if you're a teacher, you know how to teach mathematics, you can teach on AFRIT. You can just go there and make your account as a teacher and be able to upload the content and teach you and to make money out of that. I know there's a guy who is teaching people via part-time staff, so she can only have few people at a time. But if she's on AFRIT, she can teach more than 100 people at once. That will scale her business even wider, right? So that's where we're going with AFRIT. Thank you so much for your time.
Few questions, about 2 to be precise, with the limited time that we have. Number 1, why do I need an account to look at the content? Literally, like why? Because if I go to your competitors, number 1, be it Google Scholar, Microsoft Researcher, Elsevier, all these online libraries, I don't need an account. The stuff is there for me to read, right? If I want to look at some premium stuff, then I'll have to pay. Then don't you think if you are taking this approach, you're definitely now, reducing your competitive advantage in comparison to others? Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from me. And the second would be, why an online library when we've just been coming from a data must fall war previously? Yeah, and most Malawians still feel like data hasn't reduced significantly, and the rate of internet penetration within the country is still severely limited. So why this?
Great. So we'll start with the second one. Why online? Why now? Why this? China, for example. I'll give you some China. Now it's the biggest connection of people in terms of internet right now. But if you check the time that Alibaba started, the internet availability was zero. They didn't see the current. They saw where it was going. same as us. We don't see now. We are still looking into this because we know someday we will be there as a country. And if you're building for the future, you shouldn't just build it just for now, even though we are in the moment. So as Africa, we are not just building for now, even though now even phones are very cheap now. We are about 3 million users of smartphones. But that's not our market. Our market is what's coming, because the next bomb that's going to come now is people, the young ones who are coming up now, they will have access to phones, even at the very young age. We didn't have that when we were growing up. But our friends who are coming, they'll have that. And that is our target market. Okay, that's our target. And why account? This is for our own analytics sake, because we need to know who is using our products. And as you know, that we're targeting schools. So schools are the ones who are making accounts and give access to their students as well. So if we don't have that accounts, it will be difficult for us actually to have the data that we need for our users, because we also want to try to help them how to use our platform better. How we do that is by having their details so that we can send them content that is created for them, as well as that is we think is very useful for them to use the system effectively. Yeah, thank you. I hope I've answered the questions. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe for me, I wanted to check, because you said maybe two questions.
Yeah.
The first, you said users will be free to upload their content.
Yes.
And so maybe for me, how will you ensure that they not load misleading content?
Great. So
for instance,
yes.
So for instance, I teach mathematics. Maybe I upload an example, and then it has got a wrong solution. So the innocent reader will just read without.
Yeah. So
and another thing is, because here at the school they have uploaded content. Here at the school they have uploaded content. Why be able to access their content?
Great.
I mean, it's like, once I upload it, is it free for all to access?
Great. So great. Thank you so much, sir. Let's start with the quantity question. Quality, I think. Quality. How do you ensure that
Yes.
content is of high quality? Number one, that's why when you have your own account,
Yes.
we will know exactly. We have a team at the office that is which is doing quality assurance, right? To see what we are uploading there is skillful, right way that we want. And we have a team that is doing that, right, constantly. And that will help us, as well as we also trying to use the way forward, which is AI, which is be able to upload anything that you have done, it will be so able to check your automatically without us having to input. So that again will use the time that it takes us to verify. Again, when you post anything on Apple, then go straight to people to see. It has to be approved by us at the office. So we approve that, then it goes. But it's out of way, because if you have other people doing the same thing, it will be difficult for us to do. Yeah, so that's why we're trying to bring in the issue of AI to be able to evaluate our content with technology. But two, you said contract. What?
Content. Is it okay? Is it free?
Yes. Okay. So if he
Yes.
Okay. So we have a feature whereby you can say public or private. It's up to you. So if it's private, it's only you and your students or your staff who can see that in your library, because we give you access to your own library. Right? So it's a library of libraries, kind of thing. Yeah. So accessibility is based on you. You want to make it public, you want to make it premium, or just do it in your own company. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Shad.
Yes, sir.
You're taking us to another dimension. Right. Now, this one from someone to have an account.
Yeah.
Because we did this must immediately be converted into figures.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at the government will come. We will have a library, and we would like to deliver lessons online. One, how much does it cost? Two,
Yes.
to the delivery of lessons, is it something that allows an interaction between the one delivering and the students?
Type of learning.
The three, if someone is just to upload a question or an example as he put it, and maybe the question is, the answer is not really correct, for example, and someone says, no, this is the way how to address this question. I don't know how you manage some conflicts that may take place online, because sometimes there have been some battles taking place online.
Yes.
So we have to be just see what is happening or what. And so basically that comes into the integrity of the data.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. Yeah, so let's start with that one. ChatGPT, I think we all know it, yes? It's not always right, yes?
Yeah, obviously.
It has some gaps, but they're working on it to make it perfect. So people like you and me must contribute our data to make it accurate. Yes? Now, the same thing is with our graphics. It's not 100% done. I'm complete or bad faults. That is one of the challenges that we have, is to make sure that the data is consistent and how to fix that. That's why we're trying to deploy in the use of AI, because the AI will train on what is right. If you give it what is wrong, it will be wrong. So, for example, a school can upload the syllabus of mathematics, right? And it knows exactly how that math is. So if you put something wrong, it will flag it up. I think you have known the thing about Talendin, yes? Yeah. Anything online? Yeah. It tells you if you are copyrighting someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing can be done in this. To say, before you submit your content, how do you check it? So you can check all those things. Well, if it's mathematics, it's easier to check. Because AI is all mathematics, right? So maybe the one trigger part would be some other content, let's say diagrams or whatever, but in terms of numbers and content that is digital, it would be easier for us to collect those statistics. Number two, we said type of e-learning that we are going to offer. So there are different ones. Some they do live, some they do video recording, some they just do like Muuni, you just do your content and people do that. I don't call that e-learning for me. It's not e-learning. That doesn't give you notes the video and mark you based on that. So ours will be having both interactive learning because we are also pioneers of e-education in Malawi as a company. So we build e-learning digital content for schools. So for us in content based. So if you are at a university, you tell us how you want to do it. Us would be doing it as a Muuni style. Okay? How would style? Us would want to be doing as a Zoom style, live classes. It's up to you. Us would want to be doing interactive classes, but not, what videos pre-recording. It's up to you. So the style of e-learning will be based on your school's style of teaching. Okay? Yeah, on costing, right now, I know schools, I think every university now in Malawi, they're trying to go digital, e-learning. And if you ask them, they pay a lot of money to international libraries, like massive amount of money, right? And that shows you that there is a market available. So, us as Africa, we also have a model of pricing our platform to schools, because those international libraries don't have what we have, which is local content. If you go now online, just search Mary in Malawi, you find papers that are done by people in Germany, not Malawians. But people like you or others who are out there who have done same paper there, but it's not online anyway. So we're trying to fix that problem. So if you want to get anything from Malawi, we will have it. Right? So that is the answer I'm going to say. You are a Malawi school, why should you only feed your students national things where we have local enough? So we want to be able to sell our platform to these institutions because we know that they want to use global content, as well as even governments who are trying to publicize their reports. Like banks, every time they do annual reports, what report, they only share them in other meetings. But in Africa, we do official now, whereby the students can be able to quote those kind of reports. So for them, again, with their cash, they will use a official platform which can be used in academic circles by Malawians. Sure, thank you. So I hope I answered the question right.
Thank you.
Right. I think the presentation was good, but I think with the detail in terms of the solutions that is afflict is going to provide is not too clear. I think to my side, it's not too clear because there's a lot of things like the integrity of the data. It's something that is to be considered, as well as it's a bit of the platform. Of course, they say that everyone can access, but I think they can still do better.
So far, who has been your favorite innovator? Drop their name in the comments below. Create, innovate, develop. So we have one other presentation that's coming our way for the pitch, and we're going to have that outside. They couldn't bring all of the material that they needed into the room, so I'm very excited for us to get some fresh air and head out to see what they have in store for us.
Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto kuza dziko lathu kulimbikitsa kufukula nzeru kupeza njira zothandizira madera za ulimi kunkhaniza umoyo zokuza.
Thank you so much, firstly, for indulging me and coming out here in the golden hour. My name is Tinashe Shinote, and I'm honored this afternoon to present to you an interesting innovation known as empowering agriculture with sustainable irrigation energy. Easy, for sure. This in particular is to address the scarcity of energy in irrigation farming in Calabi district. But it has a blueprint to be able to be implemented across the country. Now, at the heart of it, Easy utilizes renewable resources that we have in the country. Now, looking at Calabi district, that which is prevalent, for example, is solar powered and as well as wind power. Now, Easy looks to combine this with precision agriculture technologies, as well as monitoring systems, and the driving factor for all of this is the end user, the farmers, involving them right away from the beginning, because at the core of it, any technology doesn't matter unless it's fully realized, its potential is fully realized by those that are using it. Basically, what Easy embodies is the renewable energy sources. Right? So depending, as I said, it has a potential to for other districts as well. So depending on the source that's there, it could be solar, it could be wind, it could even go as far as bioenergy. But in this particular case, we're looking at solar and wind. Now combining that with irrigation system. Now these could be drip irrigation systems as well as for larger farms such as sprinklers, but even could go all the way down small scale to just simply just as a host pipe. Combining this as well with remote monitoring systems. Now, what are we looking at when we're saying monitoring systems? Water levels, for example. Water usage, for example. Sensors and so forth to cut the water, to cut the pumping of the water. And as well as a prevalent factor is rainwater harvesting as well. That as also a backup in that regard. But not forgetting the social component, the very, very vital component, which is community, stakeholder, end user involved. Because, as I said earlier on, what matters about any technology is that the end user needs to be able to utilize it. Now, Easy offers quite a scalable and adaptable platform because it's able to from smallholder farmers, right, all the way to mega farmers. Because it is, at its heart, it is modular. Modular in what sense? For example, one may already have an irrigation system, but all they need is the energy. Now, depending on what it is that they're looking for, or how much it is that they want to pump at a particular point in time, that could be added into that. Or other components that say they don't have the rainwater harvesting system, or they don't have a water storage system, that could be touched into that. So Easy as well incorporates already existing systems. And in that regard, even looking into the power energy source in that regard, you could already incorporate pumps, for example, that are already connected to the grid, but a grid that is intermittent in that regard. So coming in to push that. So it's not exactly a novelty that the entire system needs to be a novelty, but it can already work with what is already on the ground. And it's easily tailored to what it is that the end user is looking for. Now, already it's prevalent in the country that we have very poor rains currently. That is not sustainable, hence irrigation. But what more, an efficient system, a reliable energy system that powers that, which is where Easy comes in, which is where we're trying to address that particular issue. So the demand is there, and it's able to not only be efficient, but also be able to, like for example, yes, you'd be pumping on one end, but let's say you produce excess energy. That's also another energy cell opportunity for the particular user. But focusing mainly on this, market demand is there, which means an efficient system means high productivity. High productivity means high sales. High sales means we are developing Malawi, which is the ultimate goal. But how are we unique? Going back to our modular system, at its heart, we are modular. We have the end user at heart in interest. It is what it is that you want. Right? Do you just want to water your garden that is next to a river, or an already water source that is there? This can be compacted into it because you've got the energy source, you've got the water harvesting, you've got the pump that can be compacted into a mobile system. Or you have a bit over 2 acres, you want something a little bit more fixed. An example is this, something like a little bit more fixed. But yes, the energy system there, but the harvesting system and so forth. So it's adaptable. It is what it is that you want. That's what Easy is about. Essentially, it's making life easy for you. And right away from the beginning, what is our priority? Our priority is the end user. Our priority is the farmer. So in terms of user accessibility, in terms of ease of use, accessibility, satisfaction of stakeholders, that is our core factor. How so? Already from the beginning, we're already interacting with them. Already they've got a knowledge of, okay, this is how the system could work. Already we are interacting with them even through training. And even to such a point that they could even do a little bit of maintenance on their own. But the key factor as well is looking into affordability, because people are looking to get something that they can afford. And this is what Easy is all about. So what is Easy? Something that I would love for you to take away is, it is that which promises a brighter future for irrigation farming, not only in Karabe, but in Malawi. Thank you very much. And just like that. I also just wanted to demonstrate a little bit because it's as easy as the switch. So this generates from here, and the water from the reservoir here comes from here through this, and also back. It's more of the side. And actually, the water you could even, if you would like, the water is there. For sure.
Can I take a picture?
So just to note, when we're talking about the sensors, so you've got the switch there, yes, but then also a control measure as well to the pump, right? And eventually the pump will also stop as a measure as well. Now the water is coming through here, through a system down all the way. Drip through. Yes, so for the purposes of this design, you could have had some holes, but then so we decided to have this cycle here. This one's right. Yeah, so it comes down here, all the way there. But then for you to believe that the water is actually going through here, I can just put some water in, and then you'll be able to see that here it starts. You can just get the water. Yes. And I welcome any questions and comments.
Yeah, you can start. Maybe we ask us to our close by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. These people come here. So everything is powered by watch. Everything here by the and also by the battery. And also by the battery.
You in the process of this, we used to we small holder farmer who had a little bit of a battery in the province of Tama. And his major interest was actually the drip irrigation and the capability of actually the lines going through and the capability of the pump to actually carry that amount of water, because it's more distance between this particular house here. And of course his concerns were issues as well of safety of his pump, which so this is associated to be a pump house. Right, pump house. This is a pump house. So to keep the pump as well as with some space, we could also incorporate the batteries in there if the batteries. So he had at least opened our mind in regards to safety as well as the strength of the flow of the water.
Now the issue you mentioned about rain harvesting.
Yes, it's rain harvesting.
Yes. Is it something that which district?
Yes. Is it going to happen? Well, I would say it is, but then not at that large scale. Why I would say this is because I also visited there some offices that utilize the rainwater and then for utility. So we have the tank and then the water from the drain, which is where actually this aspect so of course in this particular demonstration since the tank that's open on the ground totally different, especially tailored to that particular, let's say, site it's something that we've already seen in practice. And of course this was from experience from separate in separate ways.
Yeah, now see, whenever we're putting farmers, usually when this system is set up, require so much size of the system that is large of the size, which have done with the system.
So that assessment, yes, actually going back to the farmer that we're talking about. So when I had said that his concern was, okay, would the pump, would the energy be able to energize this particular pump so I can go this particular distance? So with that analysis, we did. But then, of course, then it actually also goes back to what we're saying, having tailor-made solutions, because that means, okay, let's say what wattage of solar panel do we need? What technicalities of the pump do we need? And essentially, at the end, the output, right? The piping, or how much exactly. So those assessments were critical through that, through the farmer, especially when we're designing this, and that's also at the heart of this, which is why I kept on saying it's a modular system, because it depends on what it is.
I think mine was about costing. Obviously, what I said.
Yes.
So, for example, if you come around,
Yes. 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 True. Very true. One actual aspect as well, because you understand, especially when it comes to technology. Technology is not something so cheap to buy in the pocket. Right? And one aspect, hopefully, if we do get the opportunity to go through ahead, is incorporating the pay-as-you-go system, which I've also seen and experienced in the energy industry that has been very effective, especially probably in other, for example, lighting and so forth. So to cater to them, because now we're not going to turn away a farmer saying, okay, this is what I can afford, or this is what I need. So look, this is what can be done. And I think in pumps, it's something that has not exactly, like in irrigation systems, rather, it's not something that has been taken up as greatly as an off-grid lighting solution. So leaving that potential still to, like, going back to that note, revolutionary, that okay, this is something possible. So still, it goes back to, from the smallholder farmer to the middle farmer. It's flowing.
I think most of the questions have already been asked, but from my perspective, just thinking outside the box. Let's say I've got 10 hectares and I need a full system. How much will it cost? Have there been any, let's say, existing out there? That's one for smallholders, and comparing it to commercial farms. I think the most common irrigation system, aside from drip, for large farms is the pivot system that they use, and it's usually powered by gensets or electricity or here on the grid. Exactly. So, does this offer an enticing option in terms of costs? The business you can cost that for the large farm. Would a farm that's using that type of common technology in the country want to shift to this? Questions and comments?
Just to thank you on the first point, you tapped into something that actually is going to that particular direction, because it's easier, for example, for cooperatives to come together, be able to, let's say, purchase a system like this, even on the payers who don't have to under this cash flow individual farmers. So actually, the analogy was actually going in that particular direction, would be to encourage all these farmers to say, okay, this is a system that you can particularly use in municipal life, for education schools done.
Yes.
Which were at least over 5 farmers each time probably own my cake with everything. And one is onions, the other is tomatoes, and so forth. And I, because these are things that we've seen they are working, and that's the direction that I'll be towards in that regard. Now, talking about now the larger farms. Yes, I would say it is definitely possible to have a larger system. Cost-wise, well, one major factor to be honest is the fact that most of these, if not all of these companies are important, and that is quite a hiccup itself, especially with the high end. So, of course, I do understand that now those issues have. I think there's a policy for renewable energy products to cut the tax, but looking at the cost-wise, especially in operating cost-wise in the long run, I would say this. I would advise the bigger funds to lean towards this because looking at Genesis, for example, my experience in inspecting and also servicing Genesis, it's quite a pricey and hefty process. And also looking at, let's say, for example, you do have another few process, so I would lean towards the more operational long-term costs to convince them rather than really short.
Yeah, maybe one just last question. This prototype is based off how big of a land board is it? 5 acres. And the cost as it is to get something like this on 5 acres and how much it costs.
Currently, it's actually wrong. This is actually budget.
Okay. And with the lifespan of how long before you will start hearing headaches of you need to service the pump, or the battery, you need the wind turbines, you need to look at the line.
Okay, now starting from the pump, I would say at worst, going at worst, looking at the solar panel worst, looking at the wind worst. But then now, let's look at mathematics of what that farm in the particular time, the size of the amount. They could be able to break even in 3 years.
So groundwater.
This is ground. This model is ground, but it's adaptable. It's adaptable. So when the key thing, why I kept on saying modular, is this is adaptable. Like for example, small pump. We compact this, literally, the panel, the pump, and I'll say a hose pipe, right, into a mobile. More or less similar to mobile.
Especially on doing the groundwork, feasibility study, but also some of them are even including a lot of new technologies, which are the AI, which is very robust. But what we're seeing is that some of them are yet to be, the concepts have to be rich such that when they are rolled out, they don't face glitches on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last question would be listening to the different and sometimes maybe similar ideas, because
sure.
that's what we're coming across.
Yes.
That people may be thinking in the same line. Do you think it would be a good idea for the innovators to actually look at collaborative efforts? Because sometimes people want to own the idea, it's mine. I want to make the money because it's my idea, so I don't have to share with the next person. But what are your thoughts around actually getting around other innovators that may be thinking in the same line as you to build something?
Actually,
if someone is to implement a project which they are looking at a certain area and the others are also looking at the same, it is good to work together because the solutions that they are going to come up with are going to help the whole nation. So it is very important that those with different ideas but addressing the same area, for example, agriculture, we see agriculture, precision farming
Yes.
being presented even in Mzuzu twice.
Yeah.
And others even brought their prototype, which was so encouraging to see that indeed they had invested time in it. Something practical, but again, you look at, okay, what about the financial viability of this project? What about, have you had a sample somewhere? Have you seen it working? So those are some of the gaps that the innovators can work together. And because all this at the end, it will bring forward the much needed solutions. Look at the issue of weather. Some look at, oh, okay, fine, this is how the soils can be measured in terms of their moisture, temperature, all that. They were very good innovations, but it's important that they can work together.
To not duplicate.
Not duplicate it. Yes.
Yeah.